So, what's the hidden science that turns a good athlete into a truly great one? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down that exact formula for peak performance.
It's a question that fascinates pretty much all of us. And yeah, talent and hard work are a huge part of it. But the secret ingredient? It's science. It's all about how performance is systematically built from the inside out.
I want you to think of peak athletic achievement as the very, very top of a pyramid. And you just can't get there without a massive, powerful structure underneath. So today, let's build that pyramid, piece by piece.
Okay, let's dive right in. The base of our pyramid, the absolute foundation, is nutrition. It is the fuel that powers every single jump, every sprint, every swing. You see, without the right fuel, even the most talented athlete in the world is going to stall out. Simple as that.
But here's the thing, a balanced diet isn't some one-size-fits-all plan. I mean, a linebacker's balanced diet looks completely different from a marathon runner's, right? It has to be perfectly tailored to their body, their sport, and their specific goals.
And it all boils down to these 3 macronutrients. Think of it like this. Carbs are your rocket fuel for that quick, explosive energy. Proteins? They're the construction crew, rebuilding your muscles after every single workout. And healthy fats? Well, they're the slow-burning logs that provide energy for the long haul. Getting this mix right is absolutely non-negotiable.
And beyond those big 3, you've got your micronutrients. Now, these are the real unsung heroes of performance. I'm talking about things like phosphorus, found in lentils and whole grains, and calcium from dairy. They're absolutely crucial for keeping your bones strong and your gums healthy, basically preventing injuries before they even have a chance to happen.
So, what's the whole point of this? The entire purpose of this nutritional foundation is to build one thing: endurance. See, proper fueling is what lets an athlete push through those final, grueling minutes of a match, or the last mile of a race, especially when their opponent is running on empty.
All right, so we've got our foundation. Let's move up the pyramid to the next level. Once a body's properly fueled, you have to train it to move with power, precision, and efficiency. This is the framework of our pyramid.
Now, this might look like high school physics, but honestly, at its core, all athletic movement is just applied physics. Newton's laws aren't just for a textbook, they govern every single kick, every throw, and every jump. The best athletes, whether they know it or not, are total masters of these principles.
So how do they build that force? Well, it usually comes down to a couple of key training methods. Isotonic exercises are all about movement, like lifting a weight, and they build that dynamic, explosive strength. On the flip side, you have isometric exercises, like holding a plank. That's where you're building tension without moving, and that creates the static strength you need for stability. A great athlete, you guessed it, needs both.
But look, raw strength is pretty useless if you can't use it through a full range of motion. It has to be paired with flexibility, which is key for performance and, just as importantly, for preventing injury. That's why dynamic movements, and even ancient practices like yoga, are so essential for the modern athlete's toolkit.
Okay, we've built the foundation with fuel, and we've built the framework with movement. Now we get to the very peak of the pyramid. This is the element that so often separates the champions from the contenders, the psychological game. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Before you can improve anything, you have to accept reality, your current condition, your limitations, and the work that needs to be done. The mind has to get on board first. The body just follows its orders.
So how do we even begin to understand an athlete's mind? Well, psychologists have this really useful framework called the Big Five. For instance, an athlete who's high in conscientiousness, you just know they're going to have incredible training discipline. On the flip side, someone high in neuroticism might be more likely to struggle with pregame anxiety. Understanding your own mental blueprint is the key to unlocking your mental game.
And this all ties into that little voice inside an athlete's head. That constant stream of thought that can be either your greatest ally or your absolute worst enemy. Positive self-talk builds you up. It builds confidence and focus. But that negative self-talk, that can directly lead to frustration and a total collapse in performance. The very best athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. Using what's called mental imagery, or visualization, they vividly rehearse success over and over again. They feel the ball in their hands, they see the perfect shot, they hear the crowd. They are literally programming their brain and body for success long before the competition even begins.
So, we've built our pyramid of peak performance. But the story doesn't end there. What's truly amazing is that these same scientific principles of fueling, movement, and mindset, they aren't just for creating elite athletes. They're also being used to unlock human potential everywhere, making sport this incredible tool for inclusion and empowerment.
I mean, just look at these incredible organizations, like the Paralympics, the Special Olympics, and the Deaflympics. They adapt all these principles of athletic science to create world-class competition for everyone. And their mottos, spirit in motion, equality through sports, they just perfectly capture the incredible impact of making sports accessible to all.
And the scale of this is, well, it's just massive. Take the Special Olympics, for example. We're not talking about just one or two events. It offers competition in more than 30 different Olympic-style sports. That provides this huge global stage that celebrates an incredible diversity of athletes and abilities.
So as we've seen, this pyramid of performance isn't just for Olympians on your TV screen. It's a blueprint for anyone who wants to improve. Whether you focus on your fuel, your movement, or your mindset, just remember that excellence is built layer by layer. The only real question is, what part of your pyramid are you going to build today?